Welcome back to Realm of Rolls. If you're enjoying the show, make sure you're following or subscribed wherever you listen so you never miss an episode. If you'd like to support the podcast, you can find us on Patreon, where you can access behind-the-scenes content. You can also join our Discord to chat with us, talk theories, and keep up with campaign news. Links to both are in the episode bio. With that said, previously on Duskbound. After escaping the vanished island and the black shape beneath the Dead Sea, the party finally reaches open water once more. The stars are clear, the compass points true, and Vathora awaits on the horizon with the promise of repairs and rest. But one truth lingers in the salt air. Surviving the island was not the end of the danger. It was the warning. This is episode 11. A sight for sure eyes.
So are we all crammed into Torran's room at this point?
No. So it's like a bunk room.
it's like a
it's a bunk room.
It's like a diplomatic like an envoy's entourage room. So you haven't got the big room, but you've got like a very well equipped, very nicely kitted out room with solid bunks in. You know, maybe there's 8 bunks in there. You know, it's compact, but it's well presented. You know, fresh sheets,
the guest room.
wash basins. Essentially, yes, it's a guest room. It's not the main event room, but they're still very, very nice quarters when you compare it to, you know, you could be in a hammock down below decks.
Well, my friends, that was a very strange day. I can't remember. Well, it's not the only strange day that I've ever had, but that ranks pretty high amongst them.
The trouble is, for me, it is the only strange day I have known. Where are we? Where are we going? Where are you taking me?
Well, we are in the Gorvathian Empire.
I have not heard of this.
It is an archipelago. There's hundreds of islands in the chain.
Okay, but where are we? Where are we going?
Well,
to the capital
we are
city.
going to Vathora, which is the capital.
And
Myself and Ayaan-Jin here have been formally requested by senior members of the Empire to we've been summoned. Not by the kind of people you tend to ignore a summons from.
No, we do not know what for. Not yet, anyway.
I do not wish to be ungrateful, but I must ask, what is it? What are you doing with me?
Well,
right now I'm feeding and clothing
friend,
you.
is that...
Thank you.
Oh yes, but the truth of the matter is we do not know where you really came from. We washed up on the shore. We'd have been on the boat previously, but you had not.
Yes,
but somehow you were there.
Given my role, my actual role on the ship, would I have caught wind of any information as to why they've been summoned?
No, is what I'm going to say. I had to think about that for a minute. So, specific reason why they have been summoned? No. You have no clue. You obviously knew ahead of time but you were looking for Ayaan-Jin and Torran. You knew that ahead of time. You would have been briefed on, you know, perhaps what they looked like, where they were. You know, obviously you were going there to collect them and to deliver these summons and to collect them. But the specific reason why they are being summoned and who exactly by, you have no clue. You know for a fact that it's going to be someone in a very, very, very high position of power, simply because of who you are and the fact that the wildflower is being sent.
Yeah.
But who that specifically is, you are not told directly. The captain would know, but you, at this point, no.
So, I must ask, I have nowhere to go at the moment. I do not know where I belong. Would you accept me staying with you, at least until I find out a little more? I have nowhere else to call. I have nowhere to call home. I am lost at sea, as it were.
I can't speak for Ayaan-Jin, but you're always welcome to me.
I thank you. I shall try not to be a burden.
In my own. Tell you what, you put those clothes on, you put them cheeks away. No burden required.
You know.
I shall do so, but yes, no pets. I shall just try to stay out of the way, and he will go out of the way and start getting changed.
Although, generally staying with me means we'll be changing vessel to vessel, whichever work happens to be paying well enough. So, we're going to have to get you your sea legs, aren't we?
A strange thing. The movement here does not discomfort me. I feel... yes, I guess the word is comfortable here. I feel that I'm in a place, even if I do not recognize the ship, I feel that the water is correct somehow. I miss the words. But...
it's home.
No, this is not home. This I know. It is not home. But until I discover where home is, this is the closest thing I have.
Now I'm actually having a proper look at Crest, and I'm thinking about it as a player. Do I recognise what Crest actually is, like species-wise?
I would say that genasis are not uncommon. He's got obviously very, very, very obvious blue skin. He's obviously a water genasi, but the thing that is odd to you specifically is the weird barnacular growth and everything which is kind of crusted all over him. That isn't normal.
And nor would the scars
That is
be.
very much not normal.
Yeah.
No, and his scars as well.
Can I see the items you took from the chest on the island, please?
I think Crest would just side-eye Silas slightly before reaching out and passing them to you cautiously. Yes.
Valid.
So it was the symbol that looked like the sun, wasn't it? And it was like a long needle piece of black stone. Am I right in saying that?
It should have been the dagger.
Yep.
And
it was a dagger.
Yep.
That
it was
it.
an amber dagger.
It would be the dagger and the shard.
And a dark crystal shard. Very sharp.
Yes, exactly.
Dark crystal shard.
And we all saw... Presumably we all saw each other's visions, or we would have glanced, perhaps. Would I have seen Crest's vision?
Yes, so you would have all seen each other's visions, so you would have seen exactly what you all described. Everyone would have seen that.
So yeah, Crest would have passed them over. Being very careful with the dark crystal, because again, he knows how sharp it is.
I'm gonna put the dagger down first and inspect the shard. Do I know anything about it? What can me? I don't want to say appraising, because that's not really an action in this edition, but appraising this item.
Yeah, I mean,
I've
you
probably
nearly
held
said
enough treasure in my
shart,
life,
then I
but-
can absolutely tell you nearly said shart. But so you can.
Excuse me.
I'm not going to say you wouldn't know that one, so you could make me an Arcana check, please.
I ain't got fucking Scoobies. I got a 6 + 1 for a 7.
No. So you've got no clue exactly what this item is. Obviously, you saw how it operated. You saw, the piercing, and then obviously the memory or whatever it might have been, the vision. You're not quite sure. You saw it play out in the air in front of you. But in terms of actually recognising or being able to figure out what this thing is, its specific purpose, you're not sure.
Torran's going to do something really stupid.
Oh God.
You said like it's something
Surprise.
He's going to
unusual.
prick himself on the shard.
You're stabbing yourself with the shard.
Just similar to what Crest did. Just nicking myself with the
Small
shard.
prick.
I'm just going to sort of raise myself up over the edge of the top bunk that I've secured myself on, just giving a bit of side eye.
You're just begging for cover.
Can you please roll me a d6?
Retro. I've no idea if this is good or bad, but that's a 1.
Oh no.
You take 1 point of
dear.
damage from stabbing yourself with a sharp
thank God.
piece of shard, and nothing happens.
Okay, cool. Ow. Okay.
This is not very clever.
I'll put that to the
I
side.
would not do that again.
Yeah. Just trying to see if I can get the vision to appear again, but apparently it don't work on me. I got to pick up the dagger next. And what can I tell about the dagger?
So I'm just looking for where it is. It's not there, which is weird. So as you look at the dagger, you can inspect the dagger, and you are able to see that it is. It just appears to be a very, very sharp amber dagger.
Who's that little mosquito in the pommel?
No, there isn't a mosquito in the pommel. I say amber, I don't mean as in the amber as in the material, I mean in the colour. Like, it is a gem of some kind. Not amber, but it is amber in colour.
Okay, right, okay.
Be careful.
You're able to tell that.
we all
I
know.
believe someone did a nature check, I believe, and you were able to understand that it's not amber as in the material, but is in the colour.
Be careful. This one is also sharp.
I'm covered head to toe. Like, I've got no shirt on at the moment because I'm getting ready for bed. I'm covered head to toe in scars. I'm very well aware of what sharp is sharp. I will pass the pair back to him. Okay.
And Crest will stow them away safely as best he can.
In his new pockets.
Yes.
Because I got new pockets. With that, Torran's going to go, well, I'm going to bed. I'm rolling over and proceeding to snore.
Okay, so Torran heads to bed. You will not be disturbed for the period that you are sleeping. You can have a full long rest. What is everyone else doing?
Well, I can't sleep. And I don't have any appetite for the food or drink that's been given. So I think he will just squeeze into a corner, maybe not even in the bunk, and just watch everyone and learn what little he can of their bedtime routines and a little bit more about them just by watching.
Okay. So Silas and Ayaan-Jin, you are very aware that obviously you can absolutely go to bed right now, but Silas especially, you'd be well aware that the crew are, frequently do dice games and other things and other activities in the evening. You are very welcome to engage with any of that. The evening is yours, both of you.
I will try and get a little bit of rest and be very disturbed by Crest staring at me in the night.
He's watching you very, very carefully.
Likewise.
Could kind of roll over in my sleep like the grumpy father and just go, Silas, don't steal his shit. Crest, leave him be. And just roll back over to go to sleep like some grumpy father telling the kids off.
Still going to watch him.
I can't.
I will
help but
turn this
feel
ship
that
around.
Certain assumptions are being made of my character.
No, it's
As you said to me As you said to me, aboard the deck of the Wildflower whilst fighting tentacles, I heard you speak in that can.
That's fair.
Dear. And Ayaan-Jin. Sorry, were you doing something, Gaff?
Yeah, I will be vacating to elsewhere, as I don't like being watched. I'm the one that does the watching.
Okay.
I will find a quiet corner and probably do a bit of gambling with the crew.
Fair enough, yeah. You're very easily able to find gambling of a kind. The only rule that the captain has on the ship is that any gambling isn't done for money. You can do it for food, for snacks, for trinkets, but absolutely not for money. Money gambling is not allowed, and your crew members would not allow you to engage in that kind of behaviour. But
It's for the 3 S's.
I don't have to
Smokes,
gamble
snacks,
with them
and
to get their
sexual
money.
favours.
Or shifts, that being the other thing.
Oh yeah, shifts. 4 S's.
So yeah, Silas, you're able to you're able to find games that people are doing cards, knuckle bones, dice, not work like not games and stuff. There's a variety, and you're able to obviously easily slip in with your crewmates and engage in those activities, the gaming activities.
I'll probably get a couple of the crew to accuse each other of nicking off of each other by pickpocketing one of them and then placing it into one of the other's pockets, and that so they get into a fight and I can sit there and watch.
I will.
Wow. Proper knobhead move.
You know what? You managed to get one pair to have a bit of a fisticuffs.
It's quite easy to do when you have an invisible mage hand that you can pickpocket with.
Yes, that is, but warranted the fact that you're probably the only person who is liable to do this upon the ship, and everybody knows it is you. It's not.
But they can never prove it.
No, they can't prove it, and a pair do get into a punch-up over it, but most people are fairly aware that it is you doing this. But you're not causing any harm, and the pair who decided to have a punch-up over it decided to have a punch-up over it. That's their problem. Nobody else is really going to kind of point fingers at you, because at this point it's harmless behaviour. And you're able to spend your evening that way. You're able to do whatever you'd like to do, find somewhere to perch up, go to sleep, and you were able to have a long rest. Ayaan-Jin, are you doing anything specific?
I think he would take an hour and go up onto top deck and just stand by the rail and look out over the seas of the archipelago, take a little bit of time, bit of brooding time, bit of deep thought. I think he would think back on his own vision.
Okay.
I think that would have had quite an impact on him. And I think he would be thinking about other people's visions as well. So, particularly Crest, because Crest doesn't seem to be able to answer any questions. It's almost like he has some form of amnesia, but I don't think Ayaan really knows whether it is that simple. He didn't appear particularly injured. But yeah, I think he would be thinking about the vision, about the temple and the empty crib, the tear that he shed, and the conveyance of disappointment from a female. But yet Crest seems quite genuine in the fact that he doesn't know any of this. And bearing in mind everybody else has had visions, he can only assume that those visions, because his were true, or his vision was true, so why would anybody else's not be? I think you just ponder over that. Take an hour in the fresh air with the wind blowing, and then I think he would retire to bed.
Okay. So, night passes quietly. You are all able to get your various forms of rest. You are all able to heal up according to rules, replenish any spell slots, etc., etc. And you wake the following day. Silas, in wherever you've ended up sleeping, Ayaan-Jin, Torran and Crest in the entourage quarters. And the ship is already bustling. You can smell a hearty meal being cooked. Obviously, the captain has ordered, after this ordeal, he's ordered a decent breakfast to be cooked. You can smell a hearty breakfast being prepared, and there's all sorts of clamour going on. You can hear crates and supplies being moved around, heavy dragging noises as the crew are obviously resetting the ship. You can hear the sound of saws and hand drills as the carpenter is beginning to put the pieces of the ship back together with expert craftsmanship. And as you emerge, you're able to get your breakfast and you're able to kind of settle somewhere on deck where you're out of the way. And you observe this bustle going on as the ship is rather rapidly beginning to look not as it did before, not that full polished appearance, but it's starting to look like it hasn't really been ripped apart and kind of torn into lots of little pieces and chunks. It's looking more put together, though obviously fuller repairs need to be made at dock. Is there anything you would like to do in the morning light once you're all kind of back together? The skies are clear, they are crystal blue, the sea is perfect sailing conditions, the water deep and a deep dark tropical blue, and it's just generally very very pleasant. A pod of dolphins swims up by the ship, and you're accompanied by them for a little distance as they play and kind of arch bascule out of the water. But you have the morning to yourself again.
I think it's safe to say the Crest will remain as out of the way as possible.
Okay.
Torran will spend most of his time up on the navigator's deck, next to the ship wheel, just with his compass out, figuring out where he is at sea. He will also do the weather sense, so I get a sense of what the weather's going to be like for the next 24 hours.
Okay. Excellent.
You just provide a short forecast. That's all it
A short
says.
shipping forecast. The weather is set to be fair. Fair goings.
Fair. Beautiful.
Nothing
Nice and easy.
unexpected on the horizon. And that would be something that you could make me a wisdom check for very quickly.
Well, it's a 16 plus 0 for 16.
So at 16, you're able to recall this fairly easy. You have been taking these readings and doing these checks fairly frequently throughout the voyage. You were a week and a half on aboard the Wildflower before you encountered this storm. And the readings for that day also indicated that it would be fair.
I'm assuming Ayaan-Jin would obviously ask Torran at some point. Had he taken? I think he'd have asked Torran if he had taken the coordinate readings from the captain's log of when we moved out of the dome. So the nearest point to it.
No. Torran will give you a short answer of no. Captain knows where we are, where we're going. If he wants my input, I'll give it to him. But I'm quite.
I think in that.
Like I say, I'm very.
I think in that case.
Go on.
Sorry, I think in that case, Ayaan would. Captain, could you please perhaps give me the coordinates of where that island was. The point where we were outside of it. I should like to note that down.
The captain, when you find him, the captain, you make this request. And the captain looks at you. Well, I'm not sure, particularly. We don't have any logs of the coordinates from there. We weren't able to get any coordinates until this morning.
Don't you think that's a little bit strange?
It's very bloody strange. The entire affair is very bloody strange.
Presumably we can backtrack this if you know how the wind has been and how long we have been sailing for and how fast the ship has travelled and the direction. Could we estimate roughly where it might have been?
We can.
I should just be interested to know. I've seen some very strange things, and I think this is something that I would like to note. And I am no sailor myself, so I am not trained with these things. I have a rudimentary knowledge.
Well, we can roughly backtrack it, but the fact of the matter is, when you look at any map, that island shouldn't be there.
Well, precisely my point, I think, Captain. I mean, I am not questioning you. You know far more than I do about sailing the seas. But I would be interested to find out where. You never know. I've travelled around the archipelago. I've been to many islands and I've spoken to many people in many bars, and you get all kinds of strange stories that you pick up along the way. And I suppose you never quite know, right?
The captain nods at you and he gives you rough coordinates. They might be a little out, but he gives you the rough coordinates.
With regards to navigation, it's very hard to know where you are if you don't know how you got there.
Yes, but with the greatest of respect, Silas, I wasn't asking you. The captain knows where he is.
Well,
Iron's raising an eyebrow, as my characters frequently do. He'll nod. He'll make a note of it, and he'll nod. Well, I'll thank you for that, Captain. Thank you for working that out. Who knows, right? You never know. You never know what you hear or what stories you might hear from somebody else at some point.
The captain almost dismisses you. You had to actually go to his cabin to speak to him. He was busy doing something, and when you entered, you saw the inside of his cabin, and it is a big space. And as you can imagine, there is a large table in the centre with a giant map of the archipelago spread out, pinned at the corners. You can see various, almost like coloured bone pins almost placed all over the map, but you have no idea what relevance they are. And as you enter these quarters, you could see that it was quite dark because there was a lot of stuff in there. Cabinets, glass-fronted cabinets filled with books and logs, his own desk overflowing with papers and official-looking orders where he was sat, kind of framed by the stern windows behind him. And it's this very opulent, almost like an office. It's a very opulent looking office of a sort, but clearly there is a lot of paperwork and a lot of very official stuff going on in there. So he very, very quickly kind of almost dismisses you, chivvies you out the room, like, off you go.
Okay.
And basically, he gives you what you've asked for, rough coordinates, and sends you on your way because he's clearly busy with something.
Yep. That's fine. Yep, Ian doesn't take offence at that. He understands. He's quite happy with that and walks away.
Okay. Is anybody else doing anything specific? And what I will say is, you have another week's voyage. There is another week to go. So is there anything that in particular that you would like to have been doing over the coming week? before you ultimately reach Vathora.
I think for Crest, apart from watching people and staying out of the way being his two primary concerns, when it is quiet, and the secondary concern obviously watching Silas every available moment. The other thing he'll be doing is taking that crystal out and sort of just probably playing with his fingers as much as anything, while considering what he saw in the vision and trying to feel something, some attachment to it, more than he has to try to connect it to something in his past, which obviously is a big blank for him at the moment.
Could you make me an Arcana check, please?
I can try. That is a +4, so that's a nice time to see a nat 20.
Very fun. Okay. So with a natural 20, 24, you are playing with this shard, and you're focusing on your memories. You're focusing on what little you can remember, those faint few scraps, and it becomes fairly obvious to you that the shard doesn't feel like it did before. Mm-hmm. It almost feels hollow. Hollow in a sense that whatever was contained in there, you certainly released. However, you think that with a little more time, you could perhaps utilise the shard itself to store something of your own.
That's very interesting.
And I will give you an item card for next session.
Lovely. In which case he shall think long and hard on that and focus on his findings and keep the other eye on Silas. Yeah, absolutely.
I like that. The one guy who doesn't actually know or remember anything can store memories in something.
It's ironic, isn't it?
There's a horrid irony in there somewhere.
Yeah, but it means he can't lose it twice. He'd probably hang on to
exactly.
that.
So I will give you that item card, but what I will say is it doesn't feel, it's not like this singular memory that was stored in there. It doesn't feel like it's just a singular repository.
Yeah.
I'll give you a specific item card, but you think that you could perhaps put more in there with time and effort. Okay, so if that's what Crest is doing for the week, you're easily able to pass the week doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Torran, are you doing anything over the week?
No, Torran basically spends his days in the crow's nest.
Okay.
Spends his evenings in bed asleep.
Okay.
He doesn't talk to many people. He's not hired on this crew, so as far as he's concerned, he doesn't have to work. Every now and then, though, if he sees like one of the young'uns or one of the newer, less experienced crew making a mistake, he'll sort of slip over and just be like, "Wait, do it like this," and then carry about his business as if he hadn't done anything.
Yeah.
But otherwise, he's pretty much staying out the way, pondering his past and almost religiously every hour checking that compass.
Okay. So the interesting thing you would notice is there doesn't appear to be anyone who is what's the word I'm looking for? Unaccomplished.
Less experienced? Oh, okay.
So you might think, oh, I'll keep an eye out and just, if there's someone there, I'll give them a hand. But you very, very quickly become aware that the only person who looks like they would ever need a hand with anything is probably Silas. And everyone else is strangely competent. Very polished, very professional in everything that they do. There doesn't appear to be, anyone kind of learning the ropes or, of a lower kind of deckhand level who perhaps doesn't, only does like the dirtiest jobs. It's very much that everyone at every level, apart from the captain and a couple of named roles, like the cook or the bosun or the quartermaster, everyone seems to rotate through doing everything equally. And they do it with almost equal proficiency. So that is, you would particularly note that. But yes, you're able to check your compass. The compass continues telling you the correct heading. Should you check the weather, the predictions for the weather come true. You know, the first day is fair, the second day it says all, you know, squally rain. The second day is squally rain. There's nothing untoward there. Hey. Ayaan-Jin, are you doing anything over that coming week?
I think he would watch for islands, perhaps passage that he may have made before, watch the weather, watch the birds, and wildlife, probably try and help around the ship. So if there were simple tasks, things that weren't too sort of technical in terms of sea duties, because he's not a trained sailor, I think he would probably try and learn to tie some knots. Try and tie some ropes and learn from that.
Okay.
Perhaps. Might come in useful in his travels. He has rope of his own, so yeah, I think he would probably try and learn something from it.
So you are absolutely able to do that. You would be able to find someone who would, you know, take a little bit of time in the evening to teach you how to tie some knots and tie some ropes. That's, you know, they'd absolutely do that. And you spend the next week peacefully. You're able to watch the seas, watch the wildlife, help out a little bit here and there with, you know, small jobs, and you know that's how you spend your week, quite quietly, quite pleasantly. You're nothing is demanded of you, nothing is asked of you, other than you kind of don't get in the way and you don't overly insert yourself where you shouldn't be inserting yourself, basically. And I say that in terms of, you know, you're not butting into anyone's business where you shouldn't be butting into business.
So no cheesecakes.
Yeah, I think he just helped with menial menial tasks. I mean, if there's like a whole pot of boring carrots to peel, or, you know, practical things that he can keep out the way but be helpful.
Yeah, absolutely.
During the day. Yeah.
Okay. And Silas.
Peel the oranges.
Silas, your week is spent a little differently. You do have things expected of you. You do have duties to attend to. Your main duty is to accompany Ayaan-Jin and Torran, and that duty would have also been extended.
I thought you were going to say gin and tonic then. Sorry, it sounded like you were going to say gin and tonic.
And that duty would have been extended to Crest as well. The captain would have pulled you aside and given you the order of keep an eye on him as well, basically. But your duties are light in consideration of the fact that you are to be escorting 3 people, and they do appear to be split across all areas of the ship. So you're
I mean, it'll be easy to keep an eye on Crest. He seems to be stalking me, so
yeah, like a shadow.
Just always aware of you.
But is there anything specific that you
Likewise.
would like to do in that week?
So basically, yeah, just going around my sort of general kind of tasks and making myself look busy. People will probably notice that I'm not as able a seaman as everybody else, but I very much keep an eye. I'm very aware of everything going on around me at any given moment. It's kind of... it's almost like I don't know what is the best way to describe it. I'm just always kind of watching everything going on around me. I take everything in. So.
Okay. So that is how you spend your week.
Yeah.
Amidst all of this, you would probably eat together, I assume. You would come together to have conversations and talk. Ayaan-Jin and Torran specifically about the fact that you've been kind of summoned somewhere. Crest, because you don't really know where you fit in, and you're just kind of being dragged along with this trio now. And you do have conversation together. But it is upon the 7th day, as the day is starting to tip from midday, from noon into afternoon, that the call is shouted out of land ho, basically. And upon the horizon...
What's her name?
I'm quitting.
I was just about to say,
don't know, but she
was there
works
lots
in
of
the
light?
Don't know, but she works in the cheesecake factory.
Bye.
In the afternoon, that you
I'll see
hear
myself out.
you hear this call go out, and upon the horizon you can see a smudge of what is clearly land. And from your headings, Torran, you know that this should be the capital of Vithora. And that is the end of Arc 1.
Hooray!
Do we level up?
Not yet.
Oh.
Not yet.
You haven't given her cheesecake yet, Mike.
Fuck off, the lot of you.
Right, I've got to regress.
That's okay. I'm thinking the same thing.
Uber Eats.
And so, with land finally sighted on the horizon, we close the first act of our story. What began in the heart of a violent storm has carried us far beyond any ordinary shipwreck. The wildflower was thrown into chaos, our party was scattered by sea and storm, and Torran, Silas, Ayaan-Jin, and the newly awakened Crest found themselves washed ashore in a place that defied nature. No wreckage, no birdsong, no true north. Only lilac sand, ruse jungle, oily purple water, and the uneasy feeling that the island itself was watching. From that first strange beach, they followed the distant sound of cannon fire deeper inland, searching for the wildflower and for answers. Instead, they found chained skeletons, ritual stones, shadowed things rising from impossible pools, and the first pieces of a mystery much older than any of them. An amber dagger, a dark crystal shard, a vision of sacrifice. At the centre of it all stood Crest, a man without a past, pulled from the sea with scars he could not explain and memories that came only in broken fragments. A temple, a spinning glass eye, a life lost somewhere beneath the waves and returned without explanation. When the party finally reached the wildflower, they found no rescue waiting for them, only another battle. The ship was besieged, its crew exhausted, its decks torn apart by monstrous purple-veined tentacles reaching up from the sea itself. Through blades, spells, cannon fire, desperate dives beneath the hull, and more than one brush with death, the party helped drive the horror back. But even victory did not free them. The sea stilled, the wind died, the compass spun. Reflections rose in the water, showing past wounds, possible futures, and regrets too sharp to ignore. Then the island began to pull them back. What followed was not just a chase, but a fight against the rules of the island itself. They learned that disturbing the water could stir the wind. They rowed, shouted, scrambled, steered, and improvised. Crest gave rhythm to the crew. Torran took to the rigging. Silas turned sailor's instinct into salvation, and Ayaan-Jin, in a moment that will surely echo through legend, weaponized an unreasonable number of oranges against the forces of darkness. Somehow, impossibly, they broke free. The wildflower burst through the lilac dome, leaving the island behind as it shrank, vanished, and erased itself from the world. North returned. The stars returned. The sea became the sea once more. And yet, the questions remain. What was that island? Who performed the rituals there? What power was being held back by blood, chains and memory? Why was Crest returned now, and what truth lies buried inside him? And beyond all of that, why have Torran and Ayaan-Jin been summoned to Vathora by the Corvathian Empire? For a week the party sailed on. They rested, recovered, argued, questioned, watched and prepared. The wildflower's wounds were tended. Crest was offered a place amongst them. The shard revealed itself not as a weapon, but as a hollow vessel for memory. And slowly, the party began to understand that the island was not the end of the mystery. It was the beginning of it. Now, the capital waits ahead. Vathora rises beyond the horizon, seat of empire, centre of power, and the destination that started this journey long before the storm ever struck. Behind the party lies an island no map will show. Beneath them, waters that may not be as calm as they seem. Within them, secrets, scars, and questions they cannot yet answer. Arc 1 has been a story of survival, of strangers thrown together, of impossible places, vanished shores, and the first glimpse of forces moving beneath the surface of the world. But survival is only the first step. The wildflower has brought them to land. The Empire is waiting. And whatever began in the lilac deep is not finished with them yet. If you enjoyed this episode and want to support the show, you can find us on Patreon, where you can access behind-the-scenes content. You can also join our Discord to chat with us, talk theories, and keep up with campaign news. Links to both are in the episode bio. With the conclusion of Arc 1, we'll be going on a short break from Duskbound, but fear not, more fun awaits on Tuesday the 14th of July, when Episode 1 of our chaotic fun rendition of Macbeth, written and published by Critical Kid, hits the airwaves. We hope to see you there. Until then, keep rolling.
Do you like your tabletop RPGs to be grim, gritty, and grounded? If so, then Legend of the Bones is the podcast for you. A hybrid of dark fantasy audio drama and old school solo D&D. In Legend of the Bones, the dice rule. There'll be no rerolls, no fudging the dice, no metacurrency. The roll of the bones will determine the character's destiny, and no one will be spared their fate. None shall escape the destiny of Bone.